Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Brajanarandan. Yashodanandana Brajanarandan. Yashodanandana Vraja Janarandana. Yashodanandana Vraja Janarandana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Shri Radhe Jaya Kolanita Mayapur Sasi Jaya Kolanita Jaya Mayapur Sasi Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Mai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Samvit Bhaktavinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So welcome back. We'll continue today on Canto 10 where we left yesterday. So let me share my screen and then we'll so as of now in Canto 10 chapter 2 we see how Lord Balram was being transferred from the womb of Mother Devaki to the womb of Mother Rohini, and that was the service was being done by Yogamaya as being instructed by Krishna himself. And then Krishna promised that you will be known by many different names and people will worship you across the world. And then after that, at the time when it was being transferred, then it seemed like Mother Devaki had a miscarriage, and then people thought that looks like maybe Kansa being a demonic, and then he might have done some black magic, and it had happened like that. However, Kansa was still afraid. And then we discussed till that how Krishna appeared into the body of Vasudeva through his mind, and how glorious effulgent he was like a sun, right? And it was very hard for anyone to see Vasudeva. It was glowing like that. And then we saw that how from Vasudeva's mind, Krishna entered into the mind of Devaki and to the heart and then to the womb. And by seeing that, she was glowing very, very effulgently as well. And she was as cool as moon. And by seeing all these things, the Kansa and all their associates, they were all in fearful mood, and Kansa was so much fearful that we were discussing about how fearful Kansa was, and he was thinking, shall I kill But no, killing Devaki won't be good because she's my sister and then she's pregnant. So anyway, people will talk infamy about me that has killed her. So anyway, let's see what happens next. Right, that's how he saw. Uh, okay, then let's see what happens next. We'll continue from text 23 today. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So text 23, it says, Ithi ghorat mat bhava sannibrita swayam prabhu aste pratiksham tad janma harer vairano vandhana vandhakrit. Sukadeva Goswami said, deliberating in this way, Kansa, although determined to continue his enmity towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead, refrained from vicious killing of his sister. He decided to wail until the Lord was born and then do what was needed. So he eventually decided that, okay, I will wait till the birth of the boy or whomsoever born, and then as I've been killing the last six sons already, I'll do the same for this one. Though he was very fearful in his mind that Krishna, my death is coming. Right. Then, oh, I think, yeah. Then text 24. From text 24 is very beautiful prayers are going to come, and today's discussion we'll see it out. Text 24, the last verse of this section, well, where it was a fearful condition for Kansa. आसीना संविशंस्तिष्ठां भुजाङ्गप्रयतं महिं चिन्तयो नो ऋषिकेशम् अपश्यत् तन्मयां jagat. See, this is a verse, even with inimical way, Kansa was actually completely absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. Let's see how it is. He says, while sitting on his throne or in his sitting room, while lying on his bed, or indeed while sitting anywhere, and while eating, sleeping, and walking, Kansa saw only his enemy, the Supreme Lord Rishikesha. In other words, by thinking of his all pervading enemy, Kansa became unfavorably Krishna consciousness. So, if we just take out this line, from here till here, the Krishna consciousness is what it is. Even while eating, while sleeping, while walking, while lying on the bed, working, sitting anywhere, going anywhere, we should remember Krishna, isn't it? That's what Krishna consciousness is. But the Kansa, he did the same thing, but in a different way. He took another path. He took the path of becoming enemy to Krishna. He was inimical towards Krishna, though he was thinking of Krishna all the time. So a devotee thinking of Krishna while he was eating, sleeping, walking, and doing everything, that's another way that he's thinking of Krishna out of affection, out of love, out of his duty, and different things. But Kansa is doing the same activities. Man manabhav mad bhakto, he's actually has engaged his all mind onto Krishna. But the only problem was he is thinking Krishna as his enemy. He's thinking about Krishna as an enemy. In one of the lecture a long back, I was hearing there it says, if you want to become enemy of Krishna, there are many people who are atheist and they don't believe in Krishna like that. And then that the discussion was like, if you really want to become enemy of Krishna, be enemy as Kansa did. He was thinking of Krishna all the time, even while eating, sleeping, even he says, even while drinking water, right? He's thinking of Krishna. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Raso amasu konteya, right? Pravas means suryo. So I'm very aware, right? Even Krishna says, I'm the test of water. So Kansa is seeing Krishna, but in a different way. He's actually seeing Krishna in a form of enemy. That's not the good thing. Only if you take out this part, He's doing the very exactly Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada translate here, saying, in other words, by thinking of his all-pervading enemy, Kansa became unfavorably Krishna consciousness. Right. So, purport by Prabhupada says, Sri Rupa Goswami has described the finest pattern of devotional service as Anukulena Krishna Anusilanam, or cultivating Krishna consciousness favorably. But Kansa was doing unfavorably. Right. So Kansa, of course, was also Krishna conscious, but because he regarded Krishna as his enemy, even though he was fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, his Krishna consciousness was not favorable for his existence. So Krishna consciousness, favorably cultivated, makes one completely happy, so much so that Krishna's conscious person does not consider Kaivala Sukham, or merging into existence of Krishna, to be great gain. Right. Uh, but Krishna conscious people, they are completely happy, but Kansa's condition was not happy. He was in completely distress, though he was thinking of Krishna all the time, because in a different angle he was thinking in a different mood. So he was in complete distress, right? He could not sleep, he could not eat properly, he could not think of anything else. Even he cannot do anything else, right? So that the way of looking for Krishna consciousness is in a favorable way. Okay, so for a Krishna conscious person who is cultivating Krishna consciousness favorably, the happiest conceived by the karmis, jnanis, and yogi is treated as less as a fig. I mean, they said, and the discussion where Prabhupada explains, and it's elaborately explains across Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita as well. Even if a karmi, or who's trying to take the path of Krishna consciousness, but actively acting in his own work, even the jnanis and even the yogis, whatever they do, unless and until they come to the point of Krishna bhakti, their activities are not considered fruitful. There is a verse in Bhagavatam as well, right? There are many verses. In one of the verses says, akama sarva kamava moksha kamodaradi. If you have a lot of desires, if you have no desires, right, if you want liberation, even then worship Krishna. And in one more other verse says, there it being described that if you are performing karma yoga, or I mean performing your duty very nicely, and if you are performing, or if you want to study like jnana yoga, studying the nature of spirit and the matter, and understanding about those nature, and if you, or if you want to take the path of Ashtanga yoga, however, if you do not take the path of Krishna, there is no useful of that. It's called as srama eva hi kevalam. It means kind of, you're then going somewhere, but still it's a labor, it's nothing else like that, right? I'll just say, so that is in one verse. I'll just give me 1 second. There is a nice verse that comes in Canto 2, like the verse is, yeah, etavan sankhya yogyabham dharma pranisthaya janma labhay param pumsam ante narayanam smritim. So if you are performing Sankhya Yoga, like understanding philosophically what it is, what correct, what not, what is spirit and what is matter, or you are performing Ashtanga Yoga, or if you are performing Swadharma Pranishtaya, if you are performing your duty very, very nicely, your prescribed duty, like dharma of a father, dharma of a mother, dharma of a citizen, dharma of a parent, and everything, right? Performing very, very nicely. However, it says Janma Labhe Parampumsam. The highest thing you can get is Ante Narayana Smriti. So achieving, remembering Krishna at the end of your life. That is the ultimate goal. So if you follow even Sankhya Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga or Karma Yoga or whatever, unless and until you cultivate the bhakti part, it's not going to work. It's going to work a bit, but that's not what we want actually, right? So going ahead, let's see how the next one comes. This from here, let's see, it's a very beautiful verses coming from here. Text 25. Brahma Brahma bhavascha taitriya munibhirnaradabhihi devai sanucharai shakham giribhir vasnam adinam adyam. So adhyan, very very beautiful verses coming now. What it's saying that this part has gone. So as of now, just remember that in the womb of Mother Devaki, Lord Krishna is there. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, accompanied by great sages like Narada, Devala, Vyasa, and by other demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, invisibly approached the room of Devaki, where they all joined in offering the respectful obeisances and prayers to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can bestow blessings upon everyone. So this Supreme Personality of God, Krishna, who is actually he's bestowing blessings upon everyone. So this all the devatas, even Lord Brahma, headed by Lord Shiva, the great rishis like Narada, Devala, Vyasadev, and devatas, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, and everyone, they are approaching now to where? In the prison house where Mother Devaki and Vasudeva are there. And what they are doing? They are offering their respectful obeisances and prayers. No one could see there. No one could see them. No one could see them. They are invisibly there, and they are all other glorifying, because they knew that Vishnu, who told earlier to us that I will appear as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, now he has appeared as the eighth child of Vasudeva and Devaki. So now they are glorifying. Let's see how they are glorifying. They first only initially they started saying that Sudeva Goswami saying that they came to pray and put their obeisances onto whom? Who can bestow blessings upon everyone. So Krishna is capable of bestowing blessings upon everyone. In fact, because of his blessing only, this whole universe is existing. Otherwise, it won't exist at all, right? So Padma Purana Prabhupada quotes, Dau bhuta sargau loke asmin daiva asura evacha. There are two classes of men, the devas and the asuras. And there is a great difference between them. Why Prabhupada is mentioning here? Very, very important. Just previous verse, Kansa was thinking of Krishna, isn't it? But in an inimical way. He was thinking Krishna as an enemy. He was completely absorbed of Krishna in an inimical way. Here, the same. Krishna is the same. Here, Devata has come, all the Devatas, and what they are doing? They are paying obeisances, they are offering prayers to the Lord. They are also in absorption of Krishna himself. So Prabhupada mentioning the 2 points. There are two classes of men, the Devas and Asuras, and there is a great difference between them. Kansa, being an Asura, was always planning how to kill Supreme Personality of Godhead or his mother Devaki. Thus, he was also in Krishna consciousness, but the devotees are Krishna consciousness favorably. Vishnu Bhakta Smarato Daivaha. So Brahma is so powerful that he is in charge of creating the entire universe, yet he personally come to receive the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhava, Lord Shiva, is always jubilant in chanting the holy name of the Lord. And what to speak of Narada? Narada Muni Bajai Bina Radhikaramana Nare. Narada Muni is always chanting the glories of the Lord. And his engagement is to travel all over the universe and find a devotee and make someone a devotee. So that's why Prabhupada quotes about two things, Devas and Asuras. The one class of who worship Lord, another class who don't worship the Lord. Right? And these Devatas has come up here to glorify Krishna, because they knew in the womb of Mother Devaki, Supreme Personality of Godhead has arrived. Let's see how they start offering prayers. And very beautiful verse, the first verse itself, text 26. It says, Satyavratam Satyaparam Trisatyam Satya Sayohinim Nitam Cha Satya 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 Mrita Satya Netram Satyatmakam Tvam Saranam Prapanna. They are offering obeisances. Tvam Saranam Prapanna. Whom? You are Satya, you are the only truth. Not truth, you are the only truth. And they quote many. There are 7 ways this talks about Krishna. He says Satya Vratam, Satya Param, Trisatyam, Satya sa Yohini, Nitam cha Satya, Satya sa Satyam, Ritinetra Satyam. 8 times Satyam word is being refers, addressing to Krishna. Let's see what the meaning is. He says, the demigod prayed, O Lord, you never deviate from your vow, Satyavratam. The vow you take, you take. So you told us I'll appear as a son of Devaki and Vasudev. Here he is. You told that I know everything, whatever the distress of the earth is, I'll appear to annihilate all the demons. So he's appearing Satyavratam. He kept his vow. Who is always perfect, because whatever you decide is perfectly correct and cannot be stopped by anyone. There is a nice Bengali term. It's been said that Prabhupada used to quote many a time. He says, uh, Rakhe Krishna mare Krishna rakhe kiye. So no one can stop by Krishna cannot be stopped by anyone. If Krishna wants to kill, no one can stop. If Krishna wants to save, protect, no one can kill. We have seen so many examples in our Bhagavatam itself. Prahlad Maharaj, Kansa tried, sorry, Hiranyakashipu tried to kill in many ways, but he could not kill. Right. At the same time, Krishna wanted to kill Hiranyakashipu, no one could stop. Even the boy, nothing. Just imagine Hiranyakashipu's how intelligently he has asked Lord Brahma to give his boon, that how he is not being killed. But Krishna, he's so merciful that he kept the vows of, he gave the blessings of Lord Brahma to Hiranyakashipu. At the same time, he killed Hiranyakashipu as well. Right. Then next, he says, because being present in the three phases of cosmic manifestation, this is Tri Satyam. So Krishna is the only Parama Satya. That's why he's called Tri Satyam. Another name of Krishna is Tri Satyam. What does this mean? He says he existed before creation of this material world as well as the spiritual world. That's how Lord Krishna gives this knowledge to Lord Brahma in Canto 2. Chatusloki Bhagavatam comes up. Lord Brahma asks about, oh Krishna, could you please tell me about your form, your energies, your activities, and be merciful unto me. And then he says the verse glorifying. He's saying the verse that how he is always there. He's always there. Anything without Krishna is actually illusion. And Krishna says there's my potency as well. So nothing can be without Krishna. Even illusion is the potency of Krishna itself. So before creation, Krishna existed. Krishna exists for maintenance and annihilation also. After annihilation, he exists. So that's how he is the absolute supreme truth. So indeed, unless one is completely truthful, one cannot achieve your favor, which therefore cannot be achieved by hypocritics. So if you want a favor of Krishna, we need to be truthful, at least to ourselves, isn't it? We should be truthful to ourselves. It doesn't matter about anyone else, but you should be truthful to our own self first, and then to our guru, and things go on. You are the active principles, the real truth in all the ingredient of creation, and therefore you are known as Antaryami. So Krishna is as a Paramatma, he knows Antaryami, he knows everyone's heart. Yesterday we were discussing about Anu and Bibhu, how Krishna as a Paramatma knows everyone of this universe as well as of everyone from all unlimited universes. So that's how he is Antaryami, the inner voice. And you are equal to everyone. He is not, he's not biased actually. Is the biasing is our own self. We deviate from taking shelter of Krishna. Krishna never biased. And your instructions apply for everyone, even for the demons, even for everyone. So for all time, even for all time, it's applicable for all time. You are the beginning of all truths. Therefore, offering our obeisances, we surrender unto you. Kindly give us protection. In one there, Kansa, he's thinking of Krishna even while eating, drinking, and walking, sleeping, and he's thinking about how can I kill Krishna. And here, the Devatas, they are offering obeisances, saying that you are actually everything, you are absolute truth. Kindly protect us. kindly gives protection. Can you imagine Lord Brahma, the position of Lord Brahma? He is actually the creator of the universe, isn't it? So there are two creation happens. One is primary creation and another is secondary creation, sarga visarga. So sarga is providing all the ingredient for cosmic manifestation, and visarga is how Lord Brahma creates everything. It's like in a family, a husband goes out and get all the ingredient, and then the wife, say, makes a nice palatable bhoga and they offer to Lord Krishna, right? In the similar way, Krishna has provided everything to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma creates everything. He's so intelligent. Now he's saying, could you please protect me? Lord Shiva, right? He's taking care as well of service of the Lord. Just by his glances, by his dancing, the whole universe got annihilated. He's offering prayer to Lord Krishna. Could you please protect us? And let's see how it goes. And Prabhupada mentions this in the purport. The demigods or devatas or devotees, the demigods or devotees who know perfectly well that the supreme percent of Godhead is true substance, whether within this world or in the spiritual world. Srimad Bhagavatam begins therefore with the true words Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and at the ends as Satyam Param Dhi. The very first verse is end as Satyam Param Dhimahi. Vasudeva Krishna is the Param Satyam, the absolute truth. The supreme truth can be approached or understood by the supreme method as declared by the supreme truth. Bhaktya mam avijananti yavan yaschasmi tatvatah. So tatvatah, to know Krishna as tatvatah. How to know Krishna as tatvatah? By devotional service, by bhaktya. Right. And Krishna says earlier as well in Bhagavad Gita, Avajananti mama mudha. The mudhas, the who deviate from the path of Bhagavad Gita, who think that I am everything and they bypass Krishna, they do not understand Krishna. And Krishna is saying, how to know me? Bhaktya. Be bhakti, do devotional service. And how to do devotional service? He's also explaining how to do his devotional service. He's saying in Bhagavad Gita, take shelter of one of our spiritual master, offer service to him, then inquire him about the absolute truth, and that bona fide spiritual master can guide you toward the absolute truth, right? So bhakti is the only way to understand the absolute truth, nothing else, right? And again, Prabhupada quotes about different things like the demigod worship and others, like antavatam tu phalam tesam tad bhavate alpamedasham. So anyone who are less intelligent, they worship the devatas to get fruits that are limited and temporary, right? So anyway, let's go ahead of this prayers. There are very, very beautiful purports being Prabhupada is giving in the year. Explaining about how can we take shelter of Lord in different ways. And okay. Again, Bhagavad Gita Ananta Chintanto month. Okay, let's see next verse, text 27. Ekayo no saudvi phalastrimoolas chaturasah panchavidu sadatma sapta twag ashta bitapa navaksho dasha chadadi dvai khago hai adi vriksha. So this is an analogy of a tree and explanation about everything. Let's see, this is a very nice beautiful analogy actually. What happens, let's see it, how this body is explained as a tree. Let's see it, very, very beautiful one. The body, the total body and the individual body are the same composition, may figuratively be called the original tree. So from the tree, which fully depends on the ground of material nature, comes two kinds of fruits. So in a tree, two kinds of fruits. One fruit is the enjoyment of happiness and suffering of distress. A tree that is considered as a body, it has two things, two fruits of the tree, happiness and distress. The cause of the tree forming its three roots, right? What is that? In is association with the three modes of material nature. So what are the cause of our happiness and suffering? I mean, this is the tree. So tree, when you water the tree, we get fruits eventually. So the tree of this body is getting two fruits, happiness and distress, sometimes sour, sometimes bitter, and sometimes very very nice, sweet fruit. And the cause of this thing is the roots expanding underneath. We don't see that root, but fruits is there. And what is that? How are we engaging with the three modes? So that's how the three roots: goodness, passion, and ignorance. The way we engage in these three roots, we get this suffering and happiness. The fruits of bodily happiness have four tests: dharma, artha, kama, moksha, religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. This is happy part, which are experienced through five senses for acquiring knowledge in the midst of six circumstances. Circumstances are, five acquiring senses we know: lamentation, illusion, old age, death, hunger, and thirst are the six circumstances. We lament for the past, it's always illusion. Old age is there, death is, no one can avoid it, hunger and thirst. We eat in the morning breakfast, after 2 hours still hungry, right? Janmashtami is coming, people will be thirsty for the whole day and they will be just waiting for one drop of water at midnight, right? However, the devotees have the different thoughts. They wanted to do Abhishek of Lord and then they drink Charnamrita to quench their thirst on the Janmashtami day. But the point is, even if you don't drink water for 4 or 5 hours, we start thirsty, we need something. So these are six circumstances, and those are be experienced by our five senses. The seven layers of bark covering the tree. So just imagine the tree is the body here, right? So what are the seven layers? Skin, blood, muscle, fat, bone, marrow, and semen. And the eight branches of the tree are the five gross and three subtle elements. Five gross element: earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. Three subtle elements. The tree of the body has nine hollows: the eyes, the ears, the nostril, the mouth, the rectum, and the genitals, and 10 leaves, the 10 airs passing through the body. In this tree of the body, there are two birds. One is the individual soul, and the other is the super soul. Right? So they're explaining about how Krishna resides in this body. The devatas is praying that how in this body, which is made of five pancha mahabhut, and how it's experiencing happiness, experiencing distress by the association of the three modes, and it experienced this through his senses because of the six circumstances, and which has seven layers, this body, right? Let's see what Prabhupada says in this section. This material world is composed of five principal elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, and all of which emanations from Krishna. We know that while creation happens, the primary creation, uh, all these five ingredients are actually, they get transformed, they get available for Lord Brahma. And although materialistic scientists may accept these five primary elements as the cause of material manifestation, these elements in their gross and subtle states are produced by Krishna. He is the one who is providing all these things, whose marginal potency also produces the living entity. So we are actually the marginal potency, living being, the souls, which are working within this material world. And then Prabhupada explains about in 7th chapter the two energies, the superior and the inferior energy, and the living entity are superior energy. Material nature is the inferior energy, and it's acting under Krishna's instructions, right? Materialistic scientist cannot give such a thorough analysis of this material structure of the body. The analysis of the materialistic scientist concerns itself only with an inanimate matter, but this is inadequate because the living being is completely separate from the material body structure. So, see, as we discussed earlier, that this Pancha Mahabhut, five element and three, these three, eight, right? Uh, Bhumir apanalo vayu khammanu buddhir evacha. Krishna says these are my external energies. Ankar ityam bhinna prakriti ashtadha. Bhagavad Gita clearly explains about these five elements and three subtle elements. And subtler than that is the soul, and subtler than that is the super soul, the Paramatma who is living within her. So these two birds in the body, what is that? One is soul and one is super soul. So it also explained in the Upanishads that the soul and super soul, they are actually sitting on a tree, and now we saw how the tree is. And in this tree of the body, these two things, the soul is actively working in association with these three modes. At the same time, the super soul sitting behind him is watching, noting down all the activities, what he is doing. Is it good, bad? And accordingly, we get our results. Right. Right. So the two birds in the same tree, one is actively engaged and one is just the witness. Is if like in a Google, right? Wherever we go, we have the phone with us, and the Google tracks whatever we do wherever we go. He knows everything of us. In a similar way, even if you don't take phone, you can escape from the Google, but you cannot escape from your duty from the super soul, right? He was tracking every single activities in the past, not only this past. He knew very well about all your past lives, many many millions, billions of lives as well. He knows very well, right? Okay. And I think we discussed this part earlier as well. Kshetragya. So who are the Kshetragya? Two personally they know about the soul, about the body. One is soul and another is super soul. Okay. Let's see what next this is. Text 28. त्वामेक एवास्य सतः सतः प्रसूति त्वं सन्निधानं त्वं अनुघश्च त्वं मायया स्मृतवा चेतसस्त्वं पश्यन्ति नान न विपसोति ये. The efficient cause of this material world, manifested with its many varieties as the original tree, is you, O Lord. You are also the maintainer of this material world, and after annihilation, you are the one in whom everything is conserved. Those who are covered by your external energy cannot see you behind them is manifestation, but there is not the vision of learned devotees. So the learned devotees, they know who is behind. It's Prabhupada explains in Bhagavad Gita as well, like the bulb. Okay, if a child, if a child maybe in a nursery or something, he says, do you know how the light ons? He says, okay, I'll switch it on. As soon as switch it on, it means light is glowing. So but the child doesn't know that actually this electricity is connected, and hence we see the light. But the person living in the house, the father, he knows very well that actually I'm paying a bill. The connection is there from the powerhouse, and because of that connection only this bulb is glowing. It doesn't matter if I switch on or off. If there is no electricity, there is no glowing of bulb, isn't it? That is the condition of the people who are covered by Krishna's external energy, or who are atheist kind of things, right? So they cannot see what's happening behind the scene. But the one who is learned, they can see who is behind it. And here the devatas are saying that behind everything, actually it's you, O Lord. You are the maintainer of this material world, and even after annihilation, you are there. And where everything is conserved, so everything goes back into Krishna's body itself. We see Mahavishnu's body, everything goes back, right? So Prabhupada says in purport that various demigods, beginning from Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and even Vishnu, are supposed to be the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of this material world. So these are the three Krishna expansion, like Purusha avatars, Guna avatars, Triguna, Sati, mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. So Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, his expansion of Vishnu, expansion of Krishna himself. So they take in charge of creating, maintaining, and annihilation. So Lord Brahma takes charge of creating, Lord Vishnu takes charge of maintaining, and Lord Shiva takes charge of annihilating this material world. But actually, they are not. The fact is that everything is a supreme personality of Godhead manifest in various energy. So it's your own energy only who is working behind everything. Though Krishna is not personally acting everywhere in this three area, but his energy is working in it, right? So and then Prabhupada says, how can we say it? Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadeva hridaye subilokayanti. Right. Okay. So the learned devotee even accept even conditions of distress as representing the presence of the Supreme Lord. And when a devotee is in distress, he sees that the Lord has appeared as distress just to relieve or purify the devotee from the contamination of material world. So these are the very high elevated thought of the devotees. Whenever they get some here and there distress and miseries, they think that actually it is just a small token given by Lord Krishna to us so that we get purified. Right, this purification process happen. Okay, let's see the what can go for more. Text 29. विभार्षि रूपाण्य अवबोध आत्मा क्षेमया लोकस्य चराचरस्य सत्वोपपानानि सुखावहानि सताम अभद्रानि मुहु खलानाम. O Lord, you are always in full knowledge, and to bring all good fortune to all living entities, you appear in different incarnations, all of them transcendental to the material creation. When you appear in these incarnations, you are pleasing to the pious and religious devotee, but for non-devotees, you are annihilator. Right? So there again, Devatas are praying Krishna that you are actually Param Satya, you are actually knows everything. The knowledge you have is in full. When we see when Krishna appeared, and then when he went to learn from Sandipuni Muni, he got all the knowledge within just 64 days. All 64 knowledge is completely, I mean, he know everything, but just to guide us that okay, we should take shelter of a teacher or a guru, he acted in the way, but he knew everything. Right, that's why he could master everything in just by hearing once, and no, just a formality. Right, so this verse explains why the Supreme Personality of God appears as an incarnation again and again. So to please the pious and his devotees, and this is secondary actually. To annihilate non-devotees or the demons, he can do in another way. It's just he comes here primarily for the pleasure of the devotees, so that they can associate with the Lord, and then they can enjoy the pastimes with the Lord. And later on we can discuss about the pastime of the Lord, and then we can actually relish those. Okay. So okay, we'll stop here. We'll continue from text 30 from tomorrow. If anyone have any quick questions, thought, or any comment, please feel free to share us.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, I have two questions. Thank you so much for the session. Sorry, I missed yesterday's session. One is on, I think, a bit on yesterday's class and at the beginning of. So when Rohini Mathas, so the Yogamaya transfers the Balram into Balram Dev into Rohini Mathas. So at this moment, it's Rohini Mata is already pregnant, is it? Like with and she becomes pregnant in the 7th. I was not clear that she's already pregnant, and then so there should have been another child with Rohini Mata who becomes Balram. I was not clear what is the story behind.
Yes, so still there is I also have a small confusion on that. But as per my knowledge, I might be wrong, but as per my knowledge, Rohini Mata was not pregnant. So, but as per the description, it seems like she was also pregnant and she also had a miscarriage. And uh, then my Devi, she told that actually I'm going to transfer Devaki's womb into your womb, right? So I'll clear on this part. Thanks for the
Mhm.
raising the question. I still have this doubt. Uh, at the same time, certainly, uh, Maya Devi or Yogamaya actually, she transferred uh, from Balram from the womb of Mother Devaki and transferred into the womb of Mother Rohini. At that time, uh, it seems to the people in the Mathura that Mother Devaki had miscarriage.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Yeah. And the other question I have, so now we are now the devatas um, are invisibly there in the prison house to see Lord Krishna. So all these verses that we are just studying about, that, like, the body as a tree. So are they all told by the devatas, or is Shukadev Goswami seeing that and then telling it to us?
Now these are the prayers by Devata itself. Sukadeva Goswami explaining it, that what are the prayers by the Devatas.
Okay.
These are spoken by Devata itself, and Sukadeva Goswami is just narrating to Parshit Maharaj about what happened, how Devatas they knew very well that Mother Devaki's son is Krishna, and they are paying obeisances to Krishna within the womb itself.
Okay. By
By
expressing the qualities of. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So
Thank you.
eventually, it seems like from outer world, it's Mother Devaki only, right? So the child still in the womb, so whom they are praying, but actually they know very well who is inside the womb. So Krishna himself. So that's why they are praying to the womb of Mother Devaki, that Krishna is there.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Yeah. Thank you. Hare
Uh,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I think there are comments. Okay. Yes, thanks, Ati Krishna Prabhu, for inviting Rupesh Prabhu as well. Uh, are the Krishna expansions Guna avatars, Lord Vishnu, Shiva necessarily manifest from the Gunas, or they are being beyond there for just in charge? Yeah. So, uh, so the question is: are the Krishna's expansions Guna avatars, Lord Brahma and Shiva necessarily manifest from the Gunas, or they are beyond and therefore just in charge of them? Yes. So they are beyond these three modes. Actually, so expansion, these are called Trigunavataras. So Vishnu is anyway is beyond these three modes. Even Lord Shiva is beyond it. So three tattvas are there actually. So Lord Vishnu is Vishnu tattva, and Lord Shiva is a mixed tattva. It's a very kind of complex tattva. He is not Jiva tattva, neither Vishnu tattva. Lord Shiva, right? And then Lord Brahma is Jiva tattva. So these three tattva, and certainly, so Lord Shiva is in charge of mode of ignorance. Lord Brahma is in charge of mode of passion. Lord Vishnu is in charge of mode of goodness. When I say in charge, it doesn't mean they are infected by those modes. So Lord Shiva, especially in charge of mode of ignorance, it doesn't mean that Lord Shiva is in mode of ignorance. He's taking care. He's in service to to deliver this all the ghosts and the peoples like that, like those who are in mode of ignorance. So he's taking in charge of those, but he's not in mode of ignorance. He's actually aloof of that. In a similar way, Lord Brahma, his service is to create the creation. So for creating something, you need to be very passionate, right? So that's why he's taking in charge of mode of passion, and hence he create this universe. And Lord Vishnu, anyway, he is anyway an aloof of these three modes. So he is maintaining this or taking in charge of mode of goodness. Is that answers, Prabhu?
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So in another way, what you're saying is Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they have mastered the gunas, or no, they are just beyond them and just in charge of them. And Lord Vishnu, he's the maintainer and in charge of sattva, But that doesn't mean he's only in charge of sattva. He's in charge of all of them, but he's just delegated the responsibilities to the other two. Is that right?
Yes, he is aloof of those. So Krishna, I mean Vishnu is always aloof of these three modes. These three modes cannot contaminate them. Even even more of good passion or more of ignorance, he is not contaminating Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is taking in charge of that, but then he is not contaminated. And these three tattvas, so Jiva tattva is Lord Brahma, so from whom he is the first being, actually he's the first living being. So if you see, the first living being is Krishna, but when it comes to Jiva tattva, Brahma becomes the first living being, and from him every this with all this universe gets populated. He gives birth to Manus, and then everything happens after that. And Lord Shiva is a mixed tattva. He is kind of, the Brahma Samhita explains about the milk and the yogurt. So when the milk is contaminated with the sugar, it becomes yogurt. So it's also a form of milk, but it's not milk anymore. So Lord Shiva is actually an expansion of Krishna himself, but for different service. So he is not he is not Vishnu, neither he is not Jiva Tattva. He is actually on a very higher state.
Okay, and what does tattva exactly mean? Because there's so many different definitions in Ayurveda and all these philosophies. So in this context, what is, when we say tattva or jiva tattva, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva is not that tattva, but another tattva. What do we mean by tattva exactly? Is that quality?
Yes, in one sense, that's its identity. In just a
Ah,
small context of identity. So when we say identity, the here three identities. One is, uh, let's take out the word tattva, use that with identity. So Vishnu identity. So any expansion of Vishnus, they are called as Vishnu tattva, means they all possess the same qualities of Vishnu, right? And when
okay.
it comes Jiva Tattva, so Jiva Tattva means Jiva identity. So identity of Lord Brahma and identity of our we conditioned souls are actually the same. We are also Jiva Tattvas, and Lord Brahma is also Jiva Tattva. But quality, sudden difference. His intelligence is way higher than we are. He's living in the higher planet. We are in the metal world. We are living in Bhur Loka. He's living in Brahma Loka. And Lord Shiva is a mixed tattva actually. He is not Jiva, neither Vishnu tattva. So identity is the different identity altogether. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much,
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.
Krishna.
Okay, so if we'll stop here today, and then we'll continue from tomorrow in the next verses. Tomorrow I might be a bit late, but I'll definitely inform in the WhatsApp group. Hare Krishna.